Happy Saturday, everybody. How's it going, Rage?
Welcome. It's going good. I think I've finally figured out my crashing issues with Risk of Rain. We think it was down to me misconfiguring the overclock on my memory.
Or alternatively, having two RAM kits that are the same kit but from different packages. Probably would have been fine as a single kit. Had to clock it down, give it a little bit more voltage, tweak it a bit more. Got it going. Hey, boy.
I still say that's my fault.
Hey, Pookie. Well, I mean, yeah, it is your fault because you bought them. How's everybody doing? We all ready for some Sekiro discussion, some deep dive, some analysis? We got so many people here. So many people. Have the two people that are here that I can see in the Steam output, at least. It's often wrong. So hey, lurkers that I can't see that are probably there. But for those of you that are here, do you remember our talk about state machines? And for those of you watching this video in the future, if you haven't seen our state machine video, strongly recommend going back and watching that, because a lot of what we talked about is going to become really important with what we're going to be talking about now.
Yes, and if you haven't seen the state machine video, I do recommend just going and watching it, because it is something that is very useful for any action game.
Yep.
It will help you understand any action game and how that game works internally, so you can use that against the enemies.
And we all know that those action games that we're always playing, you can use every bloody advantage you can get against those enemies.
It get tough.
Yeah, they don't.
Also, I just noticed I'm looking the wrong way. There we go. Now I'm looking the right way.
They don't muck around. They absolutely do not muck around. So I haven't put a ton of thought, and yeah, so that people know this isn't super planned and super organized. This is us going, let's talk about Sekiro for 2 hours, and we'll just dive into the combat. So that's where we're at. Getting good at Sekiro, aka the thing I can't do. We can get you good at it, Mr. Tube. And welcome! How's your Saturday, buddy? Nice to see you. I didn't get a CarTube stream. That's fine. I hope you have a good day off. You know, everyone needs a weekend. You typically have 1 day off a week. That ain't right.
Hi.
That ain't right.
And Car,
right.
Should probably check out our state machine video.
Yeah, the state machine video will help you a lot with Sekiro and Dark Souls and stuff like that. Teach you when to attack and when not to attack. We'll go a little bit. We'll answer some questions. So let's do like a quick overview of it, just for those few people that didn't watch the video and are diving into this. Woke up with a migraine, and now I just feel dizzy and bad. Well, I'm glad you don't have the migraine now and it's just dizzy and bad. But dizzy and bad still isn't great, so grab yourself some water and kick back and relax, turn the lights down a little bit, and let's learn about some Sekiro combat. Hopefully, one or two people that watch this video afterwards go, I'm going to go play some Sekiro again.
Learn how to clang.
Let's learn how to clang. Indeed, Pookie, well said. I was overwhelmed by the power of the Bay Force. That game looked like a game.
I missed it.
He was playing a Beyblade Game Boy Advance game.
Oh my.
Apparently it's the one game that they actually speedrun. It was kind of like a Super Monkey Ball idea, but you're not tilting the world. You're controlling the Beyblade across all these like obstacles and stuff like that, and you have to hit power-ups that make you spin faster, but then there's all sorts of little tiles everywhere that's like, it's just an arrow and you touch it and you go boom and just shoot off the map and you're start over.
Like, that has potential though. Like, that could be really fun. They just fucked it up. Like real bad.
Yeah, it was not good. Hey, we can remove destroy all humans.
Oh, did we complete destroy all humans?
Yep.
Excellent.
Hotline Miami on Monday, unless Horizon Zero Dawn patches and magically starts working. Oh right, the physics are random. Yeah, It was isometric view with crappy ability to tell where platforms are. So like you can see the platform and you're like, whoo, no, I missed that platform. Okay, back to the beginning.
And sometimes you hit the tile and go super fast off the map. And sometimes you just go a little fast.
Yep. And then you would run into an enemy and you would pounce some direction.
You would go in an direction.
Yeah, like, because you know it's supposed to be like a spinning blade, right? So the old Beyblades, they would bounce all over the place. They weren't like logical circles bouncing and going like this. Sometimes they would hit and go poof and shoot off to the side. So you'd come at the enemy expecting to do one thing and you'd be like, no, I'm off the edge now. Okay. Try that again.
Well, I guess I lose.
Yep. Luckily, Sekiro is not like that. And every single time you died, you can go, I should have hit that button.
I know exactly what went wrong there.
Yep. That's if you don't know exactly what went wrong in Sekiro, now's your time to ask because we can break it down and explain it. I've got videos. I've even got a save file ready to demonstrate some of the techniques we're talking about.
Yeah, we like Sekiro.
So basics of state machine. The things that we're going to have to remember: how to find idle state. That's the number one thing we need to be able to do in Sekiro. Identify idle state. Today in Getting Good, Beyblade 5, Force Blade Rangers. You know. I can promise you that's never a topic we'll do.
I don't know. I'd do it. I'd play it for at least like 3 minutes.
So, idle state. Everybody, okay, does anybody remember idle state? Bonus points for anybody that can describe it? I'm going to keep going on and list a few more things. If nobody can describe it properly, then we'll go ahead and tell you what it is. Is there even anything else we really need to fully understand before we can move on, other than what idle state is?
Different animation chunks are important.
Yeah, animation chunks. Animation chunks being wind up, swing, recovery. You should know what those are as well. When the enemy is not doing anything. Spot on, Pookie. And bonus marks, why is that important? I'm sure she's typing it out right now. I can actually see her typing it out right now, so I'll let her finish it so I don't just say it and ruin it. Because she knows.
Just roll on through the conversation.
You can either sneak... no, you can never sneak in a quick attack when they're idle for the most part. Sekiro's a little different. Sekiro changes that. But as a general rule of thumb, in most of these games... you never want to attack when idle. That's like the word, like Dark Souls, anything Dark Souls, Bloodborne, never attack at idle. The game will just go, oh, I can punish you now. And it will punish you.
If we're talking about a 101 level approach to learning the game, absolutely, I do think you're correct. But you can go pretty balls out in most of these games if you want to.
Oh yeah, once you understand everything. But you need to understand all the timings of your animation and the timings of their animation. That's beyond the 101. For the 101, just don't attack things at idle state. You'll get better in time. But these are the key things. Now, who can tell me what... like, so if we're looking at Sekiro combat and we're starting at the beginning, what is the first piece of Sekiro combat? Like, when they were designing it, what was their number one goal, basically? In BB, you can sneak in a quick one during the beginning phase on certain... see, that's beyond 101. We're now getting into animation timing of your attack, animation timing of their attack, what animations they're going to be entering. We're getting pretty deep. Remember, Pookie, you're beyond 101 when you do NG plus without healing.
That's very impressive, by the way.
Yeah, you could teach a 101 Bloodborne class, I'm pretty sure. If from nothing else than just sitting there and listening to me explain it every time you're playing it. Yes.
Well, that or she could just put up videos of her beating these bosses. New Game Plus, no healing.
She has them on YouTube.
this is how you deal with these bosses. This is how you don't get hit.
Lawrence, NG plus, no healing vials. What? That's so hard because there's so much splash damage. It's just going to chip you down the whole time. So combat goal 1. This is the thing that kills most people in Sekiro. And I've literally had some people go, kind of argue with me and try to tell me that some bosses it's not even possible on, which I have completely corrected them on.
Well, at this point, I'm assuming you're talking about the posture bar.
Yes.
The posture system being the primary resource for all combat characters.
Oh, it's not even a reduction, though. We're going to use proper terms. Proper terms here. Fill posture bar. That's the whole goal of the game. If you take away everything else of the game, it still works as a back and forth duel of posture. And that's exactly what sword fighting is. Which is why the game is so brilliant. It's really the best sword fighting I've ever seen. Because you're clanging swords back and forth, trying to knock the other person's footing off, essentially. Posture off. So that they get an opening so you can just kill them.
Yep. You cling and clang until the other person stumbles, and then you go in for the kill.
The thing that I'm reminded most of by this part of the game is my previous favorite sword fighting game, which it wasn't the greatest game, but it was so cool as a sword fighting game. Bushido Blade.
You know, I actually never played the Bushido Blade series.
Really? It was a very cool game. Very cool game. Because it's a sword fight duel between two people. You got different postures, different deflections. First hit wins.
See, as you were talking about how you can basically take all of the other systems out of Sekiro, as far as like health, and it would still essentially be the same game, I started thinking about how the game would feel if it didn't have a health bar. And I think if Wolf didn't have a health bar, that would be pretty sweet. But with how they tied the health into the mechanics of the posture of your enemy,
and we'll get there.
I don't think the enemy could not have a health bar.
I agree with that tie-in. But if you were to remove that tie-in and remove the health system entirely, and it was just a posture bars that go back and forth, it's doable. Some enemies would be much harder than others because you would be forced to push pace much harder. But we digress, and we'll get into that because that's the crux of everything we're going to be talking about.
That's literally why we're talking about this today.
So the second goal of filling the posture bar, after filling the posture bar, the second goal in Sekiro combat, does anybody have a guess? Anybody from the peanut gallery? I have a feeling what people are going to say, and I want them to say it so I can be like, wrong! 3 to win.
To win.
I can't say that's wrong.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong, Pookie. The second goal of most people's minds, if you can't fill the posture bar, is to deplete the health bar. That's where almost everyone's mind goes in these games. They think, I've got to take their health away because I can't decrease their posture bar. And a lot of people have come to me with the opinion that filling the posture bar on some enemies is impossible. And the goal is just to get their health down. To which I promptly proved them completely incorrect. Completely incorrect. You can absolutely posture break every boss in the game, and I've done it.
It's just really hard with some of them.
Yeah. Like when I posture break, hey, Cuddle, welcome. Nice to see you again. When I posture break Corrupted Monk, the ghost form, he's usually down to like a quarter health. In that kind of range already. But a quarter health on that guy still takes a long time. That's a lot of health.
Gives many health points. many health points.
So if you can posture break at a quarter, you've saved yourself a quarter of that fight. That's that much headache you don't need to do. Shortening a fight means less mistakes by you, because there's less opportunities to make mistakes. So the number 2 goal is slow posture bar from filling. And the number 3 goal, I'm still not going to call it health, because we don't just want to slow the posture bar, or slow the posture bar's emptying. We also want to prevent posture bar emptying. And slowing it is easier than preventing it, and that's why I put slowing it above. So, I'm sure you've read the help that explains this. Oh, how I missed you, me lord, and you, me majestic beard. I'll give it a little tug for you. There you go. The beard missed you as well, Cuddle. The beard missed you as well. So how do we slow the posture bar from emptying? How do we prevent the enemy's posture bar in Sekiro from emptying? This is an easy one, and everyone should know this one, because they told you in the tutorial. A lot of people didn't remember it or clue into it because they didn't realize how core it is to the combat of the game.
Or even necessarily read the tutorial because they went, yep, this is a FromSoft game. I know how FromSoft games work, and then went to play the video game and got wrecked.
That's why I got wrecked so hard so many times for so long. That first general that you encounter after Genichiro cuts your arm off literally killed me over 20 times my first time playing the game.
Yeah, turns out it's not Dark Souls.
No, yeah, I was approaching it totally wrong. I was like, I'm just going to dodge through and kick his ass. I was trying to get his health down. Getting his health down is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Much easier just to break his posture and deal 100% damage. It's way easier.
Turns out death blows, real good.
Yeah, that's why number 1, fill posture bar. The game is a game of death blows. That's all it is.
Sekiro is a different beast. Absolutely.
And it's one of my favorite beasts. It's my favorite combat. Just period. If I'm just going to sit down and fight some things, Sekiro.
Absolutely incredible work done on this combat system, which is why we love to talk about it so much.
Yes, and that's why, you'll understand the complexity of it when we're done. There's so much going on. We have to get the basics, though. So the slowing of the posture bar, I haven't seen anyone say it. What the tutorial tells you is that the posture bar's recovery is directly related to how much health you have. Now, because it's we can say the same thing about the enemies, and that's exactly how it plays out. The more health you chip off the enemy, the slower their posture will recover. And that's what Rage was talking about earlier with, well, it's kind of important to the system, actually, because they have tied them together this way. Because there's those enemies that recover posture so fast, Corrupted Monk, that until you get their health down, you're never going to build their posture. Genichiro as well. Genichiro has mad posture recovery when you start fighting him. You can still push him, though. So that's the only way to slow. So immediately as we're okay, you know what? We'll come back to some combat goals. I never noticed that certain enemies recover faster. Oh, yes. Posture recovery is a vast, and long arm centipede, for example, has almost no posture recovery at all.
And the interesting thing is, it's tied to their health value. Not their current health value, but their maximum health value, much like Wolf's health. As you gain more health, your posture is harder to break.
Yeah, but that's how much posture you have, not how fast it recovers, right? I'm pretty sure their posture recovery is variable just based on enemy type.
There may be also a multiplier for the amount of posture, like how easily their posture is broken or how quickly it recovers.
Yeah.
Rather, but there is also a multiplier based on how much health you have that influences how quickly your posture will recover.
Okay. I did not know about that one, but I did know that there's a separate multiplier because, long arm centipede has a decent health pool, but has almost no recovery.
Little itty bitty health pool. Itty bitty.
I hit him. He still doesn't take that much.
Well, compared to Corrupted Monk, though?
Well, yeah, but Corrupted Monk actually is different because you're not dealing raw damage to him. He's got a massive damage reduction due to being spectral.
Even with the purpley flames.
Yeah, I know. The confetti.
Yes.
Yeah.
Confetti, not the purpley flames.
Yes, he's spectral. He's a ghost. You use confetti on him, it helps a lot. But yeah, no, he still does have just an ass ton of health. I'm with you on it. If you get him down to around 2/3, he'll stop recovering enough that you can keep him pushed. But how do we build posture in enemies? How do we build the posture bar? What things can we do to build posture bar? I know we're starting real simple for some people, but I like to make sure all the bases are covered before we build. Deflect, yeah.
Thank you, Pookie. I was trying really hard not to say that.
Deflects are a way to build posture. Instead of reduce their HP, I'm going to say physical damage.
Hit them.
Yeah, it doesn't just reduce their health, it also builds posture. I like answering these questions. I feel like a good student. You are a good student. So another way to build their posture that hasn't been said yet, attacking into blocks. You attack and they block, it builds their posture. Not as much as a hit, but it still builds their posture. If you attack and they block, you're still progressing. Very valuable.
You can also jump on their head.
Jumping on head, specifically during spin attacks.
It is more effective during sweeps, but it does actually deal posture damage even without them doing a sweep.
More during sweep. The amount that is on their head otherwise is basically not worth it for the amount of work you're putting into it. And you're putting yourself at a great risk because hitboxes. If they thrust while you're in the air, you're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Jumping on their heads just feels wrong, especially for Emma. How can you do that? Just jump. Pretty easy.
I press the A button.
I push the X button. Cross button. Cross button. I saw a great argument on the X versus cross comment on the PlayStation controller. They're not letters, they're shapes.
Well, and straight up, if you pull apart a PlayStation controller, it says cross.
Yeah.
Like on the PCB, it says cross.
Yeah.
I'm still going to call it X, but it says cross.
Yeah. Okay, so I can think of at least one more way to build posture. And this is why we say the number one goal is filling the posture bar, because we have all of these ways to build posture and one way to reduce health. That's it. Already see the ridiculous depth coming out of this posture system. It's everyone's favorite attack. Mickey builds a ton of posture. Everyone just says X anyway. I played a game once on PS2 and the tutorial said press the X button. A dev would have been told not to do that, but they did it anyway. Devs do lots of dumb things.
It straight up is supposed to be cross, but everybody in North America calls it X.
Yeah. No comment. We'll just move on from that one. Oh, hey, I almost missed 420. So, we've got 5 ways to build posture. I think that's all of them.
That's way to definitely build health. All of the ways that I can think of off the top of my head.
So now we've got this beautiful, intricate dance back and forth. Before I move on, are there any questions? I mean, I want you to throw out questions whenever you have them, period. We'll stop and address them. But before we move on, any questions?
certain combat arts deal more posture damage. That's true.
Yeah, you
But
can deal
that
more.
falls into both dealing physical damage and attacking into blocks.
Yeah. You're just attacking into block with a stronger attack, so it creates a larger effect.
Like Ichimonji double.
Ichimonji real good. Oh, I guess a quick disclaimer for those that have been watching the video this far, if you haven't realized it. This is not your typical tutorial of use this item and do this attack on this boss. Those are bullshit. We want to teach you how to understand the game on such a low level that you can just play it with R1 and L1 and be successful at any difficulty on any level. If you understand everything that's going on, you might need to practice a bit and get your timing. But you can do it. You got the skills.
Yeah, I actually had an interesting experience playing through Sekiro because I basically immediately discounted all ninja tools as useless. And it was because I just had so much fun doing the straight up L1, R1 combat of Sekiro and just getting into that rhythm.
All right. So, that's how to build the posture. We know how to slow it. How to recover posture. Now let's also remember, very, very key while we're talking about this, we fall under the exact same rules as the enemy does. Treat it exactly the same both ways. So how do we recover posture? I want the number one way first, the fastest way to recover posture. That's going to be the correct answer here. Does anybody know the fastest way to recover posture in Sekiro other than rage?
Aww.
This one I learned in my second playthrough and was surprised. I made it through the whole game without knowing the fastest way to recover posture.
So are we talking about the fastest reusable way to recover posture?
The fastest standard mechanics way without consumables. Exactly.
You are correct, Mr. Tube.
It is what the tutorial said, and I, like a dumbass, went, I know FromSoft, and didn't read it.
It's true. That's exactly what happened.
But this is really, really, really important to know. All right, so we never, ever, ever want the enemy to be in a position where they can stand there and hold block. Right? If our core goal is fill the posture bar, then giving the enemy a chance to hold block es no bueno. Number two Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that there is a secondary mechanics-based way to recover your posture, and that is don't get hit.
Not quite. Don't get hit and be idle.
You can recover posture while moving, just not while sprinting.
Yeah, that's still idle. Like walking animation is still idle state.
Idle state, yes, but it depends how deep you get into the animation cycles.
Yeah, for purpose of combat, we're going to say idle state is anything where it hasn't selected a target and initiated a animation.
Yeah.
Rage just spoke for bored.
But it's true, though. Like, don't get hit.
Oh, I see. Yes. And he is correct. You don't get hit and be idle state. The idle state is the important part here because enemies respond the same way. So what I see a lot of in Sekiro is a person will have a nice exchange, right? Attack, 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 block, 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 bang, 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 bang. Get a couple parries, get a couple blocks, don't break their posture, attack into them a couple times. And then you see the posture bar build, and then they back off and they wait for the enemy to come at them with another volley. And the instant that they back off and they wait for the enemy, you just see the posture bar go, gone. And you're like, you just lost all of the work you did. All of it. You didn't actually deal any health damage to the enemy throughout that. It was all blocks and exchanges. So you've sacrificed all of your work that was mistakeless, and now you have to do it again, and you can make a mistake. This is where most people create most of their problem in Sekiro. I see it too many times. So the third way to recover being, I guess there are no other items / abilities.
I was going to say the grass, the divine grass.
Yeah, for you, and then the enemies have the, focus, stance, and stuff like that. Recovers their posture. So we don't want the enemy to ever be idle state. Attacking into their blocks is beneficial, and deflects are beneficial. Now we'll see this. So I'm going to give you my own personal advice, and it's the timing I found that is proper and works and is most effective on almost every enemy. And that is, do regular attacks until they deflect, and get really used to hearing that deflect sound. As long as they're blocking, you're going to have time to continue attacking into the enemy. So if they're blocking, you're like, hey, I'm winning. Keep hitting their block. You're chipping away at their posture. Don't think of getting your attack blocked as a negative thing. It's actually a positive thing. That's a head switch you need to make in Sekiro. Deflect is the thing you listen for. Go ahead.
In the older Souls games, Dark Souls 1 through 3 and Demon Souls, getting blocked was very bad. You had a special recovery animation that had to play. That takes up time, that leaves you open to attack. But in Sekiro, being blocked increases their posture meter and puts you at an advantage. So until you hear the ka-chang of an actual deflect rather than just a block, then you're good. Just keep mashing R1.
Yeah, that's a big change that people need to get used to. Another issue, so let's talk a little bit here. If anyone has questions on the previous stuff, shout them out, hit the link, look over the document, even if it's not on the screen. If you're jumping in new and saying, hey, what does this mean? Shout out your questions. We're happy to talk about it. I want to talk about Sekiro combat AI, because it does some really cool stuff. Like some really cool stuff. And one of the big differences, so if you've played a lot of Dark Souls and the Soulsborns, that combat is very different in pace, because you never want to attack them while they're in idle state, because it locks you in your position and you've got to do this big attack. And usually they'll notice that and go, okay, he's in his spot for this time, I'm going to smack him and punish him, and he can't do anything about it. And the AI does that because they know they can do that, and that's what they should do. That's how they force you to do combat properly and get better and understand what they're going to do. You wait to see them start and you respond. Do we see the problem with waiting to see the enemy start and trying to respond to it in Sekiro? After talking about the posture system and what's the point of the posture system? And as soon as we back off and we wait for the enemy to respond, we're now putting ourselves in a spot where we're going to have to deal with their complex pattern that they're throwing at us, and we're going to have to deflect a bunch of stuff. Any mistake we have is going to cost us 2, we've given them the chance to recover as much posture as they wanted before initiating the attack.
And with some enemies, that can actually be a full posture bar reset. They will have an ability that they can do that will completely reset their posture bar.
Not even an ability. Some of them just recover posture so quickly they'll recover it.
Yep.
That's why I have... Sorry.
Most swordsman enemies do have an ability that will actually reset their posture bar.
That's that. Holding the sword over the head and they glow blue, that's them actually refreshing. I don't think it's a full reset always. I think it's just a big chunk of a heal.
That's entirely possible. Every time I've seen it go off, which was precisely once, and then I never let it happen again, it was a full reset.
Yeah. I think it's like a half bar or something like that. It's a big chunk. Either way, you'd never want it to happen, no matter how much it heals, because they're also completely open to hit at that moment. Like they're not blocking. You get vitality damage. That's super valuable, because now you've slowed down all of their future regen as well. Are we seeing the little game that's going on back and forth with that? So pace.
The pacing and the way that the health is tied into your posture is just, it's so good.
Sekiro is constantly rewarding aggression here. Right? So we recommend attacking a lot. We've recommended attacking a lot. Remember I said don't attack during idle state against Dark Souls bosses, because they're healthy and they're programmed to take the hit and hit you back. And you're never going to win that exchange. You're never going to win that exchange. Sekiro is different. Sekiro, almost all of the AIs, when you attack them, will block. They've got some attacks that they cannot animation break. So when you start attacking, you'll get a couple hits in, but they're not going to stop their animation. Learn to deflect those.
Puts you in a very advantageous position.
Get a chip or two in, get that deflect off. So attacking causes AI to block. And they will block until they deflect. When they get the deflect off, they're going to hit you with an attack. They're coming right back at you 90% of the time. So as soon as you see that deflect, you stop, you get ready to return. If you get the deflect off, you can usually turn around, start attacking again, put them into a block. And we can really play with the AI here, because when the enemy blocks, it cannot attack. And you can control the pace of the fight in these. Unlike Dark Souls and whatnot, where the enemy's going to come at you at their speed and you've got to work at their speed, if you come at the enemy, you can make the enemy fight at your speed in this. So the more you attack and the more aggressive you become attacking into them, the more you'll force them to play defensive as an AI. And they will greatly reduce the number of attacks they throw at you. Greatly. It makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I was gonna say the first time I played through Sekiro, I initially did not approach it as hyper aggressive as I do now, but it was a learning experience in the game to figure out, okay, well, I've got this timing on my attack, and all of their attacks have this much startup time on it. So I can just fit an attack in here, and that will let me, continue my aggression. And then that just sort of snowballs and snowballs and snowballs, and before you know it, the boss is dead.
Now, a fun piece of AI that I know a lot of people missed about the game when I see like a kill video of someone really good and then I look at the comments underneath, there's always a person saying, well, they got all these, danger attacks, like so many of them, and that allowed them to build the posture bar. And how many runs do you need to do in order to get that many? And you can get that many every time if you're good.
Yep. Manipulate the spacing.
Not just manipulate the spacing. The attack selection of the enemy will change depending on if you block or deflect.
And also the number of blocks and deflects that you and the enemy successfully do. Like the longswordsmen, the vile hands, you can actually get them into a chain where you keep swinging until they deflect twice. And then after they deflect twice, they're either going to do the jump attack or they're going to do the combo that ends in the spin kick. No, they always do the jump attack. They then do a combo that either ends in the spin kick or in the thrust kick. You successfully deflect all of their combo, and then you get either a free Makiri or a free head stomp. That is your reward for successfully completing that combo.
Thank you, Pookie.
One of these days we'll remember to update that.
I usually get it last few weeks.
Yeah, there you go. Getting good.
Oh, you could see it even as I was typing. Interesting.
Yeah, live update.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a good example is Ape 2 after you cut its head off. When he does the falling sword and then just lays on the ground and lets you beat on him. Carr mentioned that he didn't realize that, he just lays on the ground for you to beat on. He only does that if you deflect. If you deflect the falling blow, he stays down. Otherwise, he just gets back up. And he enters that falling blow as a reward for deflecting his previous attack chains. If you go back and watch my kill videos, it's always a couple deflects, and then he does that. A couple deflects, and then he does that. And people always worry about these attacks. They're the danger attacks, and it gets people amped up. These attacks are literally the rewards for good deflects, because they're the number one way to posture damage. Mikiri head stomp are the greatest posture damage in the game. So suddenly all the bosses are actually a mini game where you try to learn the deflect timing, and when you do, they open themselves up and you can counter their attack. And then it's just learning the different lead-up animations. But the whole thing is built around the AI's response to your deflects, which is so cool.
And if you approach Sekiro's combat in like the exact opposite direction as Souls-based combat and look at it like a rhythm game, you can learn these little passages, these rhythms that you can use on a boss. And for instance, the one on Long Arms is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sweep.
Well, here's my advice, okay? For the people that have a real hard time learning these timings, so watching the enemy is great and all, and we'll talk a little bit more about how to detect tells and stuff like that a little later. But something that helped me is just listening to the sound of your blocks, because your deflect tapping will be the exact same speed and timing as the block sounds when you just hold block and let them attack you.
Yep. I have never clued into that before this exact moment, but that is very, very true.
Yep. So you can just hold block and listen to the ding, 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 ding. And then next time, just hit your L1 at that speed and that time, and you'll win.
And with a trap that you will see a lot of Sekiro players fall into, and it does work on early enemies, is just mashing that L1 button. Just mash it. And you'll get the deflects more often than not.
That's how I started.
But when you start getting to more complicated, more off-timed attacks, it'll get you killed real quick.
Same as not using Kuro's charm. Much easier to see where we have failed to block. Yep. Or failed to parry. Where you only blocked. Yes.
Excuse me, I think you mean deflect.
You're right. I do mean deflect. I've typed deflect. Yeah, it's not a parry. It's a deflect. There's a difference. Parry creates an opening. Deflect just returns the force. So maybe we should talk a little bit about our posture bar.
Sure.
Because there's little points, mainly that we should never actually look at our posture bar or care about our posture bar.
Yes. Another trap that a lot of people fall into with most FromSoft games is stop looking at your resources. Just stop it, because you're gonna mess up because you're looking at your resources.
It's good to glance in Souls at your stam and stuff like that, but that's just a quick glance and at the right times. An advanced skill to not get yourself killed and manage it. Very difficult to do. But there is no stamina in Sekiro. There's nothing to manage. There's literally nothing to manage. The only thing to manage is like Spirit Emblem count. Whatever. That's nothing.
And I mean, I guess technically HP, but if you're doing all these other things, then HP doesn't matter.
Yeah, posture doesn't matter either. Your posture bar will be full a lot of the time, but your posture bar being full will never punish you unless you fail to parry, deflect. As long as you deflect, even if the added posture from the deflect would break your block, it won't break your block. It won't break your posture.
You just gotta nail the perfect deflects, and your posture cannot be broken.
Yep. A boss that's a beautiful example of all this, that I know a lot of people have had trouble with, and was probably the hardest enemy for me in NG plus Charmless. And I knew it would be hard. And that was Orin. She's a beautiful, beautiful example of this mini game I was talking about. Did anybody see my Orin fight? I don't remember who was here for it, but
I was here.
It's such a cool little fight, because you can't. She's spiritual, right? She's incorporeal, whatever they call it. So she doesn't take a lot of damage, and she actually has really, really fast posture recovery. So if you don't like charge at her and attack her, you'll just watch it and go straight down. But if you charge at her and get a swing on at her, she instantly blocks. Now this is a perfect representation of what I've been talking about, because before her posture was able to go down, we've been aggressive and gotten in there, and we've put her into a block stance with that quick attack, so she can't retaliate until she gets out of the block. We could actually even attack a couple more times until she deflects. But because she never entered idle, she went right from recovery to block. Her posture didn't move at all, and it never starts recovering. And you can continue to push her posture this way. And even though posture recovers super fast for her, if you're not like right on top of her, if you stay on top of her, you will continue to push it up. And you can actually posture break her at full life. That's how I beat her, with no consumables on NG plus Charmless. Now she's got this pattern to her, and she's got a really cool minigame. Her 8i does an extra little thing. You see it in Emma as well, and a couple other of the fast enemies. When she comes at you with a big flurry of attacks, there's one of three outcomes. There's you blocked them, not parried them, although if you didn't parry the last hit, it usually breaks you, so that one doesn't happen often, where she'll just do a normal attack. There's she breaks your posture, and then she instantly enters a throw every time. as soon as you posture break. You can get out of the throw easily, but it requires you rolling away, getting some space, and then waiting for her to finish the throw animation. She's already in idle before you start running at her. She actually recovers a good chunk of posture every time that happens. Every time she breaks you, she will recover near a quarter of her bar on NG+. That's painful.
And it is almost as much in NG as well.
Yeah,
like Orin has crazy posture recovery.
But if you get those parries on that chain, she always enters one of two danger attacks. She has a sweep and she has a thrust. So you either get a Mickery or a head stomp and cause a big chunk of posture. And as soon as it comes out of it, you just R1, 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 R1 right on top of them until they deflect. You'll get a few blocks. You'll build it even more. You don't let it recharge at all. And then she's going to start attacking. Because she's now in attack, her posture won't move. You do your deflects, you build her posture more. If you got your deflects, you get your extra opening, danger attack, more posture build. This is how you can kill her. You can literally kill any enemy in the game through posture without any damage just by state management this way. And it's not as easy as we make it sound, because every time you get hit, you're going to want to run away and heal and recover your health. So what happens when you're drinking?
You get punished.
Even like everyone always notices if you heal close by, you're just going to get hit right away, right? That's by design. They're almost taking away as much as you healed every time they hit you. It's just this back and forth thing. If you run far enough away that they can't hit you, they will recover all of their posture. They just will. Unless they're at like half health or less. That's about the mark. Half health, it's going to be so slow that you can run away and heal, and they won't recover at all.
Also, fun fact, certain enemies will have certain points in their health bar where as you decrease their health bar and then build their posture, the posture bar will flash orange. And when it flashes orange, that means it cannot decrease beyond this point.
This would be a good example of it, I'm sure. Because Butterfly has a very quick build. So you see I'm attacking. There she deflects. I instantly stop. I deflect her attack. Oh, there's the danger. So a couple deflects.
There's your reward.
Yeah, deflect. I attack back into her. Deflect. I attack back into her. She deflects. Now she runs away, and I instantly charge at her, not letting her get away. That was actually just a well-timed dodge as she came down to iframe the landing. That was a mistake. There.
But you can see there, at one point, Lady Butterfly's posture bar did flash orange.
Yep.
At that point, it will not decrease anymore.
Fun fact, you can use fire to force it to not decrease for the span of the fire. I used to use fire that way. See, I'm right on top of her the instant she spawns. She kicks back, I'm right into her again. There's all the deflects. See, I got all the deflects, so she goes into her spin. Look at how high her posture bar is already here. Because I'm not letting it go down. Her health isn't touched. If I were to back off, it would go down.
And FromSoft was very kind and made it so that when she's up in the air, her posture doesn't recover.
Well, when she's up in the air, she's in the animation of a move.
Yep. It's part of a technique. Like, this could be considered idle state while she's walking along the line there, but they were very kind and made sure it wasn't, so that you don't get completely screwed every time she jumps up there.
Yeah. Although as it is, you can see she's recovering a lot during this phase. And she casts a fair bit, so she doesn't constantly recover, but here, now I'm hiding from it. Look at how much posture is lost from this.
Like, we're basically at the start of the fight again now.
Yeah, basically all the work I've done is now lost, and it's a complete start over. But I've got that little bit of health chipped away, so at least it won't recover as quick as we go. And just
And
right
there
in
was
her face.
actually a small moment there where the posture bar was completely empty.
And then back into that deflect attack into it. Just R1s until she deflects, and then a L1 to deflect.
And then
just,
a nice note from Abby.
Yeah. Oh. I think that was me responding to the note. I lost my concentration for a sec there. But something you'll notice, yeah, I remember that when I hit the edge instead of her head. Oh, well, we still got her. But you'll notice throughout that whole fight, I'm right on top of her. I'm never backing off. I'm never giving her a chance to recover, except for when I need to, right? I have to hide from all those paper things flying at me because they will just eat you and are terrible.
And do many damages.
Yes. But I lost all my work. The times where I do her best is when I'm so on top of her that I don't even let her get that ability off. Like, I don't even see that ability in phase 2 a lot of the time when I get the kill. Aggression. This is why we talk about it so much. Not just because it makes the fight shorter, which means you make less mistakes, but it makes the enemy attack less. Like, anybody who's done Butterfly knows that she has a lot of big, crazy volley attacks that are really hard to deflect. And people will watch that kill and say, like, well, yeah, you got the kill because she only did, like, 2 of them. She only did 2 of them because she only had time to do 2 of them. The rest of the fight, she was blocking my attacks. And all she could do was deflect and counter. That was all I let her do.
And that comes back to our understanding of the state machine and knowing that she can only do one thing at a time. So if you make her block, she can't deal damage to you.
Makes her way easier. Now that we've gotten an hour's worth of here's the combat, I gotta use the little boys' room real quick, but does anybody want us to break down a specific boss? Tell us who you have other than Owl 2, not just because I haven't done it, but because I want to leave a challenge for people in the game. But any other boss
and Owl 2, real good.
Any other boss you want us to break down, say it. I've got video. We'll analyze it. We'll tell you the little games, and we'll tell you what you're actually looking for. You'll get through them.
You have the ability. You just need a little bit of practice and to understand what's going on under the hood. So, chat, it's just you and me now. Just you and me and the fire engines. Yeah, it's all good. Enjoy your lurk. Maybe you'll learn a couple things about Sekiro while you've been lurking. Oh, you'd like to see the Orin fight? I'm sure that can be arranged. I know Deus has quite a few clips, and let me see if I can pull that up just in case he doesn't have it.
So many
Welcome
fire
back.
engines. I'd like to see the O-Rin fight, actually. I missed it last time. Oh, if I have my new O-Rin fight. I have the kill. This is Guardian Ape 2. That's Ishin. Emma. One, yeah. I don't have... For my first kill. I believe I have O-Rin second...
Did you do Orin Charmless?
Yep. I don't think I didn't keep the... It was very long.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through the YouTube video, trying to find her.
Yeah.
Oh. I was just watching your video here, and you got whomped by 7 spears.
Yeah, he'll do that. He'll do that. 7 spears is one a lot of people have a trouble on too.
He was one of the tougher regular enemies for me. I had a hard time with those guys.
So I've thrown 7 spears up. We can definitely break this one down while you find O-Rin. And 7 spear, that big spinning attack there. That one is one of those you can't break it. He won't block. But while he's spinning, see, I got a few hits off, and now I actually blocked it rather than deflected there. But this is NG, so you can't charmless, so I didn't take any damage. There I got too greedy and attacked too much. It was stuck in attack and couldn't deflect. That I blocked. There's a thrust. Now his thrust gets a lot of people because he drags it through the ground. This isn't a great kill here. There we go. Get my death out of the way. Nice to have the mistakes for O-Rin. Okay, I'll grab that after. See, as he's blocking, I'm filling his posture bar. So just by attacking into it, I was able to fill it and finish that phase off. Also, get used to resurrecting fast. I see what happened there. That was a sweep. Now that thrust he did there, I love that cheeky return. Always watch out for that. You gotta deflect after you mickery sometimes. You can't just stop. You see, I get up really fast. That's because I don't want his posture bar to recover too much, but it's fully gone already because he's at full life.
Yeah, and 7 spears just does not care.
You can see it coming down.
Your day.
Watch. Okay, so there was a good example of it. Hey, look here. I roll away from him. Right? Look how much it's filled, and I'm worried about the return. So I roll away, and look at that. I lose everything that I got from the mickery instantly. Coming down, I run in, I start attacking. It comes up and stops going down. See, I'm keeping it up here, keeping it up. It starts going down, I instantly start attacking. There's the deflect. I stop and wait for his response, and now I'm getting this attack. Few hits, and then immediately back in. I attack until he deflects. I stopped. I went into a block posture to see what he's doing. He started spinning. As soon as he started spinning, I attacked into him a couple times because I just know that attack. He's doing the spin. I'm like, okay, he's not going to respond. I've got a little bit of time. I can get 2 hits in, and then I've got to deflect, and my 2 hits were enough to push his posture. That was 2 dots without any surprise attack.
And it's all about the amount of pressure that you can put on your opponent.
Yeah, you'll notice that he actually died fairly quick there. That wasn't a long video. Just about being on him. Okay, let's pull up Orin here. You see, my posture is full, basically, already. I don't care. I got the... Yeah, that was bad. So
It's like we like to say about HP. All you need is one. And all you need is one room in your posture bar.
So her thing is from the back. She's going to do a spin. There, see, she's in the spin. That's where you want to parry. She hits me, I fall over, it ends. There, I got the parry. She stopped, I attack in to force the attack. If you get that parry on the backhand, she always does a spin. She deflects. When she floats away, she's already starting this attack. Greedy heal. There we go. But she's got all her posture back because I stopped to heal.
And she's taken maybe one hit of health bar damage.
Yep.
So anytime you give her an opportunity, she will completely reset her posture bar. But when you're good at getting your deflects in, like that, she gives you a sweep at the end of that combo, and that's your reward.
There it broke. I had to wait. Again, she hits me. Oh, this is the beginning of the fight?
Yep.
Oh, that's going to be a while before we kill her at this rate.
Yeah, you may want to mash that right arrow a couple times.
She was a tough one. Yeah, you see, I jumped this far and we're still just getting the timings down now. But now that I'm a little bit better at it, you'll watch and see as I get these deflect timings, instead of getting knocked over, she's going to start doing a lot more sweeps.
Yeah, and then you get to jump on her head, do a bunch of posture damage.
Again. Now she's going to... Oh, that's the big combo. And I screwed it up. So she's going to recover some. I actually used a firecracker to try to keep her from recovering. There's another one. So the firecracker worked, and it forced the combat where she didn't recover any. But didn't push pace there, waited for her. She recovered more. She's
and
all
then
about
died.
The pace. Let's see if I can just jump forward to where it's all been put together. Because it does look beautiful when you do it right. Nice start. Oh, that was bad.
I see you. I see you doing the mash dance.
Yep. It's more... I know the timing of consecutive hits, and I start the mash at the time when usually the first hit comes in that gets all of them for me. There I was expecting attacks when she did the... I still overmash, but it's starting the mash at the right time is the key for the NG Charmless. NG plus Charmless.
And there are situations in which if you get blocks, they will continue attacking. If you get deflects, they will not continue attacking.
Yep.
And then some enemies will have the opposite, where if you block, they will stop attacking. And if you deflect, they will continue attacking as a reward so that you can earn your danger attack, which allows you to build a large amount of posture. Just like that.
Yep. death. Yeah, I was on her. Oh, that's.
Well, I see some corrupted monk in that scrub.
Yep. See there, she broke my posture, so she goes into a throw. This is actually the kill, it looks like.
And no block mash before that sweep. Just one block, realize that she's sweeping, and jump.
Yep, because I was getting used to her patterns much better by that point. See, there's the break. She enters a grab. She punishes the hell out of me with that one. That turn back is always a single deflect into. And then this one is a combo. Right there would have been a sweep after that last hit if I got those deflects. Oh, Rin, you're such a dance.
Such a difficult dance.
I love this fight. See, there, you get those double backhand deflects. She goes right into double there, and again a sweep. She blocks a couple attacks as I land, deflect, and then because she breaks me, she enters her grab. I have to roll away. Luckily, she was aggressive. Didn't let her barb recover at all. See, as soon as I'm down, even though it's orange, it still recovers. It just recovers slower.
But did you see that big orange flash afterwards? After you revived?
No.
This posture bar is not going to go down past this point flash.
Oh.
Because there's a yellow one that's like, okay, their posture is going to reduce a lot less quickly now.
Yeah.
And then there's an orange one that is like, it's not going down past here.
Excellent. And there she is. That was over in R1 and L1 only. Just by applying the basics of what we've been talking about and practicing it for like an hour. This is about how long it took me to fight her. Something like that, an hour and a bit. But, there's a fast, skilled game. You're going to die. No matter how much you know about what's going on, you're going to die. Just knowing what's going on will let you get through it eventually.
Or
with
die
just
less.
R1 and L1. And die less. But that I used no consumables at all on that. I barely moved her health. It was all posture break. By pacing.
Well, there's something that people tend to think with these video games where you're only good if you're not dying. To which I redirect them to people like Lobos Jr., who has 10,000 hours plus in Dark Souls 1 alone. Just Dark Souls 1. He has mastered these video games. Dies all the time.
Oh yeah, regularly.
Not a problem.
One of my favorite times, I was hanging out in his stream and somebody tried to criticize him for dying. Like, man, you die a lot. It was in like a Dark Souls 2 randomizer run. He's like, what are you talking about? You're supposed to die in these games. That was just his instant response to him. Like, it's Dark Souls. It's made to kill you. You're supposed to die. It's gonna happen. If you play the game, you will die. Also, somebody in a Zeus stream when I was in came in and was like, I've never died to orphans. Zeus looked at it and went, then you haven't fought him enough.
Yeah, Orphan's hard.
If
you really hard fight.
If you fight Orphan enough times, he's gonna fucking kill you. It's gonna happen. Nobody fights him over and over and over again and never dies to it. You see speedrunners get thwomped by him all the time.
Orphan's a run killer, or at least he used to be before the new tech.
Yeah, they can punish pretty much every attack he does now.
Did you watch the Bloodborne run at GDQ this year? Yeah, that was nuts.
Yeah, that was silly. Like people who haven't played the game went, this game looks easy.
They did make it look easy. That is the thing that they did.
Sekiro never looks easy. That's one of my favorite things about it.
Unless you're air swimming.
Yeah, that's not Sekiro. That's cheating. Sekiro isn't cheating. If you're cheating, you're not playing Sekiro. Can we agree on that?
Yeah. On that we can agree.
Okay. Yeah, if you're dead angling all your bosses and sky swimming your way to them, then you're not really playing Sekiro.
Yeah, with the whole dead angling thing, it's kind of it's a weird thing that was, I think, very clearly an oversight. Like, you're intended to play this game locked on.
Yes.
That is very clearly the way that you are intended to play this. Because it's so focused on the 1-versus-1 combat, the flow of the duel, the pacing of playing against your opponent, that I feel like the unlocked dead angles are just straight up unintended. Like, that is just the enemy AI is just not set up to deal with it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's coming from. The AI doesn't recognize the attack coming directly at it, therefore it doesn't register to block it. Therefore it takes the hit, creating posture damage, reducing health, which is a great deficit in the game. And Sekiro actually has a really, really, really powerful stagger system for when enemies take physical hits. So if they're not blocking and they're getting dead angled on every hit, you're going to interrupt like 99% of the stuff they do. That's another reason we say attack, attack, attack. Genichiro. So Genichiro has some really, really mean attacks, and I know a lot of people have difficulty with him.
This is my smug face.
Because they're not they're not aggressive enough. So like in this kill video, you won't see him do a lot. You see me attacking into a lot. See right there, the drop down attack that he does. It's really easy to sidestep it, and I see a lot of people sidestep it, and that's how I used to do it too. Hey, Val, welcome. Oh, he always takes a hot second to get in here, so we'll wait till he's in here and saying stuff to do the welcome and thank you for the host. But Genichiro,
welcome raiders.
Welcome viewers and Val community. Yes. The biggest problem most people have with Genichiro, again, is they're not aggressive enough. And he does have some mean combos with crazy patterns that are really hard to predict and guess and respond to until you've seen them dozens of times. So you're going to die dozens of times until you get them down. But you can reduce them and not have to deal with them nearly as much by just attacking. Just attack. A lot of his attacks will actually get interrupted. And that, I was talking about the drop-down attack. That drop-down attack, if you parry it 100% of the time, he follows with the spin or thrust.
Yeah, he rewards you for parrying that attack because it's a scary attack. You just jumped like 10 feet in the air. He's dropping down on you with a sword. And instead of moving out of the way, you deflected it. So you get your reward.
The deflect timing on that attack is actually really easy to get. It's not a hard attack to
super
deflect.
Easy attack.
And once you start deflecting that attack and punishing those dangers that come up, because you're not going to be panicking when you see the danger sign anymore, because you know it's coming. Because you know when I deflect this attack, I get a danger attack, and you want those attacks. So don't panic when you get them. That's your reward. Then you see that and you're like, okay, what do I get to do to him? For Genichiro, you're watching his back. If you see his back to you, he's about to spin. And you jump. Otherwise, he's going to thrust. That's his tell there. Look at his back. If his back is to you, jump. You'll see it. Let's continue. You see the pattern I'm talking about? R1, and then every time he goes to arrow, I hit him. He hit, deflect, deflect, attack in, he's blocking, deflect, deflect, deflect. Oh, there he's in Mickery, and attack right into him again. deflect. He jumps back. Because now you'll notice, if you're used to Genichiro chasing you around the stage, you'll see that now I'm actually chasing him around the stage. And he's constantly running away from me. Genichiro is my bitch. He is scared of me. He runs like a little coward. This is my trick for this combo.
just leave.
He just stands there and swings in the air like a madman. Like I couldn't get the deflect timing on it for my life, so I was just like, hey, I'll just backstep because you know what? He's not in idle state. There, I saw his back, jump.
You get so much posture for deflecting that, though. Like I recognize that it's hard, and when you're doing it charmless, you're gonna take a lot of damage if you mess up. But you get so much posture for deflecting that whole combo.
There, you see, he keeps on trying to bow me, and I just kept on attacking. Just literally on him, you attack until he deflects. He'll take a hit, he'll block, 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 he'll finally deflect. You got one of two attacks coming at you after he deflects, typically. As long as you learn how to deflect those two attacks, as soon as you deflect it, you're right back into him. Attack until he deflects, and you know what to expect. He always enters with that attack, 100% of the time. Just Mikiri the start. Ooh, I got a light... I screwed up my shock.
Yeah, I love the aesthetic of this fight.
So again, you'll notice I had to sit in and do the entire deflect combo there. I was stuck there. I pulled it off. What does he follow with? His thrust. I get my danger kanji. I Mikiri the thrust. We're already at a quarter posture. Phase 3 is barely started, and I've hit him once. But I've already got him a quarter done. If I stay on him. If I back off to heal, because I'm almost dead now. I don't have a lot of health left, but I got a res. So I don't need to back off. Let's stay on his nuts. Let's see how far we can push him. When I res, I can worry about healing. He gave me a bit of space, and then followed with his really aggressive Mikiri, which is real lucky. Oh, I'm getting kind of shook here.
You can see the tension in your face.
Yep. There it goes. Oh, he was out of range. And look how much posture I lose because he's out of range for that. I've backed off too far. I couldn't hit him with the attack. You see, I don't let him actually return to idle.
That combo looks so silly when you just walk out of it.
Doesn't it? It's partly why I love it. It always reminds me of that scene from Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, the guy is like,
and then he just pulls out the gun and shoots him. That's exactly what that scene is. You'll notice that I don't want him to go idle, so I stay close enough to him so that I can actually just go right back into it. And now because the lightning counter is so strong, he's basically dead, and I'm not going to stay down here for too long. I'm going to pop right back up. And finish it. Not the cleanest kill I've ever had, but a good demonstration of what we've been talking about. So you'll notice that if you're used to sitting back and fighting this guy and letting him come to you and have these huge exchanges with him, the attacks that you hate the most, you probably didn't really see in that fight. And that's because I didn't let him do them. I was in his face pressing R1 almost the whole fight until phase 3 when I ran away to heal and let him start coming at me. And as soon as he started coming at me, I was back on my heels and it became a really sloppy fight and I almost lost.
It's true. And that I think is a perfect example of how Sekiro really rewards aggression. If you are aggressive, if you limit your opponent's options, then you look incredible. You look like you're just this video game god. You are unstoppable. And then as soon as you get hit once and have to back off to heal, you get ruined.
Owl 2 is the hardest for you in this because Owl 2 is the hardest in this.
Owl 2 is a fucking hard fight. Oh my god, I love that fight.
Hey, Val, welcome Val viewers. I know you're always a little behind your host notifications, so thank you very much for the host. As you know, we're talking Sekiro. Hope you watch the earlier stuff, because it was a really good review of the mini-game within the game. But is there a specific boss other than Owl 2 that you'd like us to go over? Because we specifically said we're not going to go over anything Owl 2 for anyone, so that even if you watch all of this and work your way through the game, there's still going to be some surprise and learning and a chance for you to apply what we've said.
Also, because Deus hasn't beaten Owl 2 yet.
Shh! Otherwise, we can do Ape, because I know Ape is one that a lot of people have issue with. Still haven't fought Emma or Weak Ishin. I call him Old Man Ishin, but Pookie always complains that that's disrespectful to call him an old man.
He's an old man.
Call it as I see it. He's Old Man Ishin, because Sword Saint Ishin is young. Not young, but younger.
Ishin in his prime.
Call him Fire Ishin. Let's throw this on just because it's such a fun fight to watch.
Do you have Emma?
Oh, yeah.
Because Emma's an interesting fight.
Emma's very much like Orin.
Emma is one of those fights that everybody sleeps on until they actually fight her, and then they die like 50 times in a row.
Yeah, Emma will ruin your day if you're not ready for it. But that being said, the first time I fought Emma NG+, I beat her.
And then died to Ishin, and then died to Emma a bunch of times after.
Yeah, she started wrecking me after that, but I did get her the first time. I was quite proud of that. Is this not the kill? What is this?
The centipede?
Oh, this is probably the kill. This is the time when I fought her the first time and beat her, I think. Ouch. So there's the thrust. That Ashina Cross is a nice one, and let's go over that enemy next. You know who I'm talking about? Mr. Double Blade, or Double Swing? Right before Genichiro,
yeah.
A lot of people have trouble with. Super easy fight once you learn about the tell. So her throw, I ended up doing a double dodge for. The blue robe guy, yep. You can see I made a huge mistake there. I attacked into her when she was doing her thrust. That stopped her thrust, but that means I don't get all the posture damage, right? That's our reward. We basically cancel our reward when we attack her there. And it's my first. I haven't fought her a lot here, so that was a B too early. Now that combo there, where at the very end when I parried her and threw her forward, that's a reward. It throws her forward and it lets you hit her once in the back every single time that happens. If you do not parry that, if you block it, she throws you forward and starts doing her Ashina Cross.
Little details in these fights that are just amazing.
That is
Emma, that is the only time you ever see that animation in the entire game. That's the only time that animation is used. When you get that last parry and Wolf throws Emma forward, that's the only time it's seen. The fact that they have a special animation just for Emma, who is a one-phase boss on the shortest route of the game that most people aren't going to do, From
By the way,
Soft.
you should absolutely do the Shura ending. This Emma fight is fantastic.
Oh
I
yeah,
love this
great fight.
I love this fight. But now her Ashina Cross, now if you do get thrown forward, don't panic, turn around, hit her. Because it is an interruptible attack. You will stagger her out of it. That's next on your list. Yeah, I love this fight. Mainly because of that back and forth action on that one specific combo. You'll see me again using R1 and attacking in until...
You did give up a Makiri there.
I did. This is not me doing Emma well. This is me doing Emma early. That's when I learned that her throw has a lot of forward movement, and she always follows her throw with that same spin. Every time.
Poor Emma.
Still can't believe I first tried Sword Saint Ishin that one night. First tried him in the second ending run. You did well. You did well. Sword Saint is a great fight. This is a really, really cool fight as well because of that move right there. So you know how I've told you that my pattern the entire game is R1 until they deflect, then L1? That works on every enemy in the game but this guy.
And not just this form of this guy. Every time you fight this guy.
Because he does this. There. See that? He didn't block.
He just moves.
He
just gets out of the way of the sword.
He sidesteps and follows the sidestep with a slash. If you do one attack and he sidesteps and you're prepared for the follow-up swing, you can easily parry it. Or deflect it. If you deflect it, he will follow with a Mikiri. A thrust attack.
That is your reward for understanding.
If you don't, you get
move.
this. So here's another good one that we can use. I want to talk about something for Val as well, because when I watched you play Val, I saw one mistake that you would make fairly often. And I think it'll improve your gameplay a lot in Sekiro to take it out. And that is you like to use the hold R1 thrust attack towards enemies. And about 90% of the time when that attack is used on an enemy, if they're in idle state, they deflect. And a lot of the time, you're taking areas where you could have had 2 or 3 R1s to force the enemy to deflect, and you're taking that time to charge and thrust attack. During the charge thrust portion, they actually recover posture because they're waiting for you to come in. Then when they deflect, they stop their recovery because they've left idle state, but they don't gain any posture because they've deflected and pushed it back on you. Actually,
or if you're really unfortunate and doing it against a boss like Owl, you get Makiri'd.
Owl 2
every
taught me to
time.
stop using that too much. Yes. Yeah, but you gain a lot by doing the basic attack. So what the main thing we were covering at the beginning is that the first goal of Sekiro combat is filling the posture bar. The second goal is slowing the posture bar from emptying. The third goal is preventing the posture bar from emptying. And only the fourth goal is removing all enemy health, which is achieved by the posture bar much quicker than by actually hitting them. Oh lordy, it's a totally different way to approach the combat in it, Cuddle. Totally different way. Just got addicted to the thrust attack because it has more range and does a little more damage. Yeah, but the damage doesn't matter because we don't really care about their health, right? If we break their posture bar, it doesn't matter if they have full health or 10% health. They're just dead. So if our main goal is to fill posture bar, then the thrust attack is actually terrible for it. One of the places I do like to use the thrust attack is in the example of the Genichiro video we were watching, where Rage was commenting on how ridiculous it looks when I just and sidestep back out of it and watch him go like this in the air. Well, you time your thrust attack with that final scoop of his, and once he starts doing the scoop, you hold R1, and after he scoops, you thrust in, and he's still in recovery animation of that scoop attack, so he can't enter block from idle, and it hits him. And you get a whole bunch of posture and a little bit of health that way. Yeah.
Also, the old adage holds true. They can't kill you if they're dead.
This is very, very true. Very, very true. Let's go back to fire. Oh yeah, right here. I wanted to look at this. So this attack right here. So this is his Ichimonji that he's doing right now, right? And a lot of people just get wrecked by this attack at the beginning. And this is one of those examples where we're talking about where don't focus in on one part of the enemy. Watch the whole body to find tells. If you can spot the first areas of movement, then the attacks become much easier to deflect. Now for this attack, right, he's just started winding up. Watch his core. Watch his abs for the beginning of this attack. And you'll see that whole area sort of tighten and crunch down before his sword starts moving in his hands to begin that animation, just like you actually would if you were smashing something. Watch. There. Very quick, very subtle, but that's where my eyes go. As soon as I see that little crunch, deflect. I never miss it now. It's just that simple. Just that one little piece that I needed. Now, I wanted to look at... do you remember his name?
No. I feel like you wouldn't have put his name in the file name, though, because you don't know his name either.
Oh, I did.
Sword Sheath Guy,
Ashina
Sekiro.
Elite Jinsuke Saze. Okay, this guy causes a lot of people issues. And note, this fight is 1 minute long. Okay. This is a tell that even Rage missed until I mentioned it, which I laughed at. So this guy has a tendency to come at people and just double shot them real quick and scare them, and it puts you on your heels, and then you're trying to heal, and he doesn't give you a chance. Now, okay. Oh, look, it's One Punch Man. See, that's what most people know him as. Watch
Basically.
Watch this subtle difference here now, okay? When he gets up, he's going to stand sort of upright and move a little bit, and then when he sees you, he's going to lock onto you, and he's actually going to crouch down and set. When you see him crouch down and set like that, he is now no longer in idle state. He's already started his attack. Hey-o, Snow Penguin. So he's already started his attack at that point. Right? His posture won't even recover because he's in attack state. Well, later on in the fight, you'll see as he enters that, his posture stops recovering. He's looking to attack you, which means he's already in the animation, which means he's already in a set process. Lord Potato is away this day. So watch. Watch what I was talking about as he gets up and gets into attack stance. Idle, attack. Now, did anybody see the tell for the actual swing? I've said it so many times before, I'm sure people already know it.
Deus didn't. He took the hit.
No, I saw it. I was just slow. This is also way back in the day. This is like the second time I've ever fought him at this point. I knew the tell, but I wasn't good at it.
What's hilarious to me is I completely missed this tell. Just like entirely. Didn't notice. I was responding to the blade.
Do you see this spark flash here? A little bit left? That's what we watch for. Watch his sheath. Right where the sword comes out of the sheath, there's going to be a bright flash. As he draws it, that's your cue to tap, tap. There.
And to be fair, I
Tap,
think
tap.
Deus's tap tap was a little too slow. It's actually to tap.
Yeah. Tap, tap. Tap, tap. He got me. Still getting my timing down. You know what? It's never over in Sekiro. Tap, tap. There. Oh, got that face down. I got my resurrect back. Don't attack into him. That's dumb. Never ever do that. He's very aggressive, and you can just do this till he's dead. See, he went more into his idle there, where he was upright and walking around. That's why I jumped in to push him a little bit.
And then got punished. But the theory was there.
Yeah, I just didn't play it very well. Honestly, I always found it easier to bait out this guy's attack and sidestep him instead of parrying. You get at least 2 to 3 swings of free damage on him anytime he misses his quick draw. Yeah, it takes basically 2 to 3 deflects and it's done. And once you see that little flash tell, the deflect is just, it's so easy to get. And it's just so fast and consistent and reliable. Less chance to make error. The flash tell is so neat.
I was completely oblivious to it until like Deus's second or third playthrough of the game when he told me about it, and I was just like, what? The question is, how did I beat that boss without the tell?
Yeah, I get not being confident enough to parry it, but once you've practiced that flash tell like 2 or 3 times, your confidence goes through the roof because you can see the attack coming early. You know, like breaking down his states. As soon as he enters that hunkered down state, you're watching for the flash. That is the attack he's planning. As soon as he goes down into that state, that's the beginning of the double slash attack. So the moment he's within range of you, that flash is going to happen. So you just wait for the flash.
And then when the flash comes, you've got about like a third to half a second, and then you go to tap.
It's about how long it takes me to start pressing the button, typically. Isn't it easier to with PC Sekiro since 60 FPS?
Is console Sekiro not 60 FPS?
I don't know. I only play it on PC. Pookie didn't have a problem on PS4.
I mean, yes, higher frame rate is more better because you get more logic updates per loop or per frame draw.
It is a 30 FPS lock.
It is a 30 FPS lock. Interesting.
Yeah,
but
even
will
Pro
get
is 30
more,
FPS lock.
You'll get more ticks, more state updates, so it's easier for your eyes to take in information. But I'm sure that the logic on the system runs at the same rate.
Yeah, I'm sure they've tied the logic in separately to account for frame drops because it would be unplayable in the event of a frame drop otherwise. Oh, for console it would be 1080 or 4K.
Is there a 4K option on the PS4 Pro for Sekiro?
I'm not sure.
Huh.
I'm not sure. I know a lot of games run at 4K, even pretty, on the PS4. But like we were talking about, it's really important it doesn't frame drop. Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, Val's the PS4 resident pro.
Gotta wait for that PS5 patch.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually like super hyped for the PS5. I've got so many fingers that like I've run out of fingers crossed that Bloodborne will get a PS5 patch and run at 60 FPS. Oh, please.
They were even rumoring Bloodborne on PC, to which I went, no, it's not going to happen.
No, that's not going to happen. Sony's not giving that up. Bloodborne's too good.
It's too valuable. They know it sells consoles, and they're in the business of selling consoles.
Oh yeah, they Bloodborne port to PS5, like a full-on PS5 4K remaster port. I'd buy a PS5 for that.
Yep, me too. Is there any Okay, we've got time for like maybe one more enemy before we give away a couple games. Is there any specific boss people would like to see us go over? Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it that way. There would be enough latency to destroy you.
Yeah, the latency on PS Now, and I did try it over a local network inside my home. Both the PS4 and my PC were on wired, and it was basically unplayable. The latency was way too high.
And yes, we all heard about Chadwick. That was very sad, Snow. R.I.P.
Hi!
And hello, Nariel. It's been a while since I saw that news. Dang, still not fixed. I don't think it ever will be.
Yeah.
Just through the nature of networks and data transmission, you're going to create latency unless all the devices in the network are super specialized. Yeah, that's why the PS5 is so cool with their super specialized SSD controller, because it's just starting to do stuff that computers can't.
Which is real neat. I'm super excited about that.
Let's look at Headless Ape real quick then. Oh, this is Ape 2.
Ape 2 also good, but not the same thing.
Guardian Ape. Oh, I bet you I have it even, I have the NG Plus Charmless Guardian Ape.
Isn't there an owl? Do you mean the first owl fight?
Here we go. Yeah, there's 2 owl fights.
But we're not talking about Owl 2 because Deus hasn't beaten it yet.
No, that's not why. Because we want to leave a challenge for people.
And because we want to leave there like some mystery left in the game.
Yeah. So a big thing with Ape that a lot of people don't really think at the beginning of fighting him is he's totally block and parryable, block and deflectable. And he does the same thing with deflects. Does the exact same thing with deflects, where here's the deflect, and I'm going to get a bit of a chain off here of them. And that encourages the jump. I deflect that, and he just stands there for a couple hits.
And just lets you hit him.
By the way, that attack is super valuable to have here. That was a double deflect I missed. Watch his hands. His hands are actually very tight hitboxes for his grabs. I know a lot of people have the issue with that. A well-timed jump, for the most part, deals with all of his grabs. Now, see? Just jump over his hand. You're good to go. Lets you stay in his face. And he's very vulnerable to staggers. This is one of those enemies, actually, where I tend to focus on the life bar more than the posture.
With Ape 1, I find that I actually just don't look at his resources.
Yeah, I just fight him until he stops.
He's just moving around so much that I just keep hitting him until he's not moving anymore.
Yep, that's the accurate way to deal with Ape. But I'm really just in a jump. Actually, yeah, that wasn't even a jump. Did you see that? I framed his hand grab.
And Val, I actually had that same problem with the ogre. The very first ogre that you fight, I was just like, there's no way I can parry him. He's so big. He's just going to blow this sword out of my hands. Turns out you totally parry like everything he does.
You think it's ironic that I'm wearing a Jurassic Park shirt? I love that Jurassic Park shirt. Watch the iframe here.
That's pretty great.
There's a nice parry chain into the drop, and that gives me a Now, that attack, again, works great on him here for building posture. That's more like the type of tips I said we weren't going to focus on here, but it is nice for pushing his posture once you get his health down a bit. Once he's at half health, you can start using that to really push posture. Life, aka Giant Centipede, finds a way. I love that one. That was total fluke, but it was so perfect.
And then you hit him in the butt.
Yep. Yeah, when he does that jump, spinny grab, wait for him to just about land and jump, and or if you're close enough, just walk forward and you'll end up behind him. You'll be nowhere near his hand for it to grab you. Okay, now
also,
a lot of people say they have a harder time with the second phase than the first phase, which I was super surprised by because I thought the second phase was just so easy. The whole trick with the spear prosthetic on this fight in phase 2 blew your mind. Yeah, that's a really cool one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's useless for me because whatever. It's an easy phase, but it's a cool use of a couple tokens if you have them left, and I think I do it here even. Imagine the first person who discovered that. Yep. What the fuck is this inside of it? Deflect. Now with this guy, again, you'll see a deflect, deflect. I missed that deflect, so he goes into his scream. And the scream gets a lot of people, so let's take a look at it. Right, deflect, deflect. There. See how he instantly started kind of ducking down and putting his head up to his stump? He's already in the scream attack at this point. As soon as he starts that little duck down, that's the tell. Run.
Or you can tell by Deus's face going, "Oh shit, he's about to scream."
I've recognized the attack and know that my back is to a wall. Yes. My back isn't to a wall, though. I just thought it was. That's a thrust, but I just jump over it, and then a deflect. Deflect, 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 deflect.
The one that always
and I missed the last one
in that combo.
Which one gets you?
The one that always messes me up in that combo is the attack that misses you.
Yeah.
Because he's got one attack in that string that will just miss you if you don't move. And I'm always like, oh god, did I fuck up the string? Oh, another attack!
Yep. But you'll notice I didn't get the deflect at the end, so he goes into a scream. So now I've had to deal with a couple screams, because I've been screwing up my deflects. But deflect, deflect, nope, block, block. Those are bad. And a scream. Do we see the pattern here? Deflect. Deflect, deflect. No, I got the blocks. And a scream. So hopefully I actually start playing well here, and we can show you how the fight's supposed to go. See, now I'm getting the deflects. There's enough deflects now. Gives me this. I deflect. He falls over. All of a sudden, oh, okay, we can just beat on him for a while. Scream. He always does that after he gets up. Well, not always, like 90% of the time. There's a deflect. There's a deflect. There's a deflect. And now I get this instead of the scream. So now he's just going to lay there and let me beat on him again.
Wop.
Now the scream. So you can see, like, he seems like he's got this really random pattern, but now that we've told you about the little game going on, it's almost predictable. Based on if I'm blocking or deflecting, you can almost guess what attack he's going to do in this video you're watching. Very readable fight at that point. Deflect, deflect, and he gives me another one. So the whole game is just, can you get deflects? Greedy. so I take a little bit of a beating from the thing. I shouldn't have made that extra swing at the end. Notice I'm not even trying to attack him. I'm just letting him do his thing. You'll notice his posture's barely recovering at all, ever. He has a very crappy posture recovery in this phase.
I mean, he hasn't got a head, to be fair.
That attack, I know a lot of people have a problem with as well. When he does the jump and spin, wait for the kanji. After the kanji, jump. Watch the timing of my jump to his kanji here. Kanji, jump. He'll jump over his sword every time. The lie rage. He's holding his head like a male at a strip club.
That's true. That is true.
Select. Yeah, that's really all Ape 2 is. It's just basically standing back and deflecting attacks.
And then he gives you free damage.
Yep. There's more free damage. And I think I've got his life down to half now, so you'll start seeing some spear. Half is usually my mark. After half health, their posture is all but unrecoverable. Unless you're dying and not reviving quickly. That's key. We've said it before, but revive fast. When you die, the faster you revive, the less work you lose.
Yeah, I did not enjoy Twin Apes. Like, in my head, I know it's just go kill the brown ape and then do ape phase 2 again. But did not like Twin Apes. There's too much running away.
Yeah, it's a kite fight. The game's not really, like we were talking about earlier, it's really made for that lock-on, one-on-one, read your opponent. The fights where it suffers are the fights where you can't just like stand and fight, and you've got to run and dodge and Demon of Hatred.
Yep, Demon of Hatred literally killed all of my enthusiasm for this game.
Which is a shame.
Killed my run.
Such a good game. You really got to fight Sword Saint.
Not because it killed me a bunch, but because it's just so out of character for the game. The combat style doesn't suit it. It should have been a Dark Souls 3 boss. And then I just kind of went, I don't want to play this anymore, and put it down and went and played Doom.
So you see here, he's doing a scream without doing the drop because I finally missed a deflect. I got hit by the attack of the final swing. So I don't get my drop and reward, and I've got to deal with another scream. So if the screams are happening a lot for you, and you're saying, well, this guy had it real easy, he got almost no screams, and I'm getting lots of screams, and that's why I'm dying, it's actually your deflects are the problem. It's your interaction with the AI that becomes the issue here. That's why Sekiro is so amazing.
The game rewards you playing well.
All right. We've almost gone late, so it's perfect time to try to give away a couple games. We'll still take questions or comments, so keep them coming in the chat while I go ahead and set this up. Anything you want to discuss boss-wise or strategy-wise, hit us. Hit us.
Demon of Hatred makes me so mad. So mad.
Yeah, I probably will never do that fight again. Just wasn't, wasn't a good Sekiro fight.
Should have been in Dark Souls 3. And then I still wouldn't have played it.
Which you should still play that.
No, I don't like it. They changed the combat style too much. Dark Souls 3 is all about running away.
Yeah, a lot of the bosses are, which is sad. Though I got through it without running away through most of it. I just built myself to roll well. And
That is my theory, Val. I think the Demon of Hatred was originally intended for Dark Souls 3. Like it feels like a Dark Souls 3 boss.
I agree.
I mean, you're right. I really should finish Dark Souls 3 one of these days, but I don't think I'm ever going to.
That's a shame, because the Slave Knight was really a fantastic fight, and I think you would love that fight.
Yeah, I just don't want to do all the slogging to get to that point.
My favorite part in Sekiro was launching myself into the air, absorbing lightning into my sword, and throwing it right back into the dragon's face. Not just the dragon's face, but also Genichiro's face, and Sword Saint's face, and all those doggos' faces. And yes, I love the lightning counter.
Anytime lightning is involved, Sekiro's a pretty good time.
You know, I found that even when lightning isn't involved, Sekiro's still a pretty good time.
This is true.
All right. We have some existing winners, so if you're here and see your name, be like, oh, hey, I gotta get that game from them, eh?
So those existing winners include Rift Kick, Rubido, Orphan of Bosom, and I can't quite read who won Magica.
Kanzi. Kanasi. Yeah, we've got a second Rift Kick. I had it.
Rift Kick again.
Had it shrunked down. I'm gonna do 3 this time. Party Hard, which is a hilarious little game and a great little game. Sort of like GTA is what it reminds me of. Or Hotline Miami, as we're about to play. And
I think you'll enjoy Hotline.
Yeah, I think I will too. I'm super stoked for it. You've got Party Hard. Excellent. I used to party hard. The Sniper Elite series, which is a hilarious game. I died
It's actually
laughing.
pretty fun.
I died laughing the first time I played it. Yeah, you don't go into it expecting a real serious shooter game or anything. It's not what you're gonna get, but if you just want to laugh and have a good time and play a casual shooter, third-person shooter, it's great.
You basically just have a casual, not very good third-person shooter section, and then you go and click on some heads.
In the later ones, you don't even click on the heads because they have bullet drop, but they give you the little reticle for exactly where to aim for the bullet drop. So you just aim there and shoot, and you watch your bullet drop directly into their head. And you're like, yeah! Hit them! And then, like, the first time I played it, it was a buddy of mine playing part 4. Lo, this is a great game. You want a good one, Lo. Lego Batman.
Oh yeah, Lego. All of the Lego games are legit kick-ass. Like, they're really good.
So yeah, we're all playing it. We're sitting around. We're, smoking like we do. And my buddy's like, yeah, sure, let's check it out. He's like, check it out. I'm gonna shoot him in the dick. And he shoots it, and then it goes into slow motion, and we're like, oh, what's this? And it goes kill cam. And it zooms in on his testicles, and it goes all fleshy so you can see the inside, and you see the bullet pass through his legs and actually go directly through the testicles, and the testicles go push, push, as the bullet goes through them, and the guy drops down, and you're like, this is amazing! I literally fell off the couch laughing at that, and then played through like 3/4 of the game before it got old. Totally worth the money I paid still.
Yeah, it's a fun game. It's not a good game, but it's a fun game.
It was fun, some of the mechanics. I like the sound mechanic where you can like break an engine and then it'll make sounds on regular intervals, and if you fire during the sound that it's making, you can mask your bullet's shot and stuff like that. Those are cool mechanics.
Yeah.
You can also do things like snipe the grenades on soldiers' belts to blow them up. Yep. You can do lots of fun things in that game. Silly game. So thanks for hanging out today. Hope y'all learned something about Sekiro. Hopefully a couple people are like, I never realized all this stuff and I'm going to go try that game again. I hope you got better at it just by listening to us.
And I hope you enjoy it. I really, really do. I really, really love this game, and I want to share that love with others.
I think a big part of the love for the game and being able to enjoy it is if you understand all this stuff that's going on, you know exactly where you went wrong, right? So if you know exactly what killed you, it's not that frustrating because you just know, don't do that next time. You know exactly what needs to be changed already. So it's not as bad. It's not like the games where you walk into a room and just, poof, you're dead. Okay. I guess. We've all played those.
Yeah. And the Souls series has gotten a lot of flack for being a game where you'll just walk into a room and die. But
it's not.
Honestly, it's not.
No.
Souls is incredibly fair, and so is Sekiro.
I know what killed me every time I die. Every time I die, I'm like, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I fucked up. I should have checked around this corner first.
And that's when you start getting really good at these games. Is when you get to the level where you understand the base mechanics enough to go, this is what killed me. Casuals don't like to learn. True. And that's why those people aren't going to like Dark Souls.
Or Sekiro. Honestly, Sekiro is a tough game.
It is. It is. I honestly say it's harder. Because you can't summon, and you can't outlevel your problems. To get good or get gone. That's it.
Yep.
I always knew what killed me too. It was always Owl 2.
Even when it wasn't Owl 2, it was Owl 2.
So I'm going to go eat something. And we might play some Risk of Rain 2 later.
I'm down.
But I might just watch the Canucks game. We'll see how it goes.
Totally reasonable.
See how it goes. The boys are playing well. They're up 2-1 in the series even. Okay. We've gone late. We've done it. We've talked for over 2 hours about Sekiro's combat in a 101 format.
And we could go longer.
We could. We could just review every enemy in the game. I'd happily do it. But yes, not today. So thank you very, very much for joining. I'm Deus.
And I'm Rage.
And may all your shots be headshots.